It's late October and our off-grid homestead continues to keep us busy. As winter approaches, we're facing two main problems. Problem number one, after spending a year installing our water reservoir, the bank is still looking pretty sad. And it's not all about how it looks. Without plants growing on it, we're worried the banks will weaken as the pond fills over the winter. Problem number two, our chickens have spent the summer roosting in an oak tree rather than spending the night in their coop. Now that winter is just around the corner, we need to create more cover for them and move them away from their favourite spot. But it's not all bad. This is the first year we've grown pumpkins, and they've ripened in time for us to carve them for Halloween. This is something Grace and Albie are very excited about.
This isn't how you would ordinarily cut a pumpkin. I'm just trying to take the surface skin off because I'm not going to be doing the actual carving. Let's see if that keeps anyone happy.
We've seen online that if you mark a face onto a pumpkin, the chickens will peck at the eyes and mouth to carve it. So we thought we'd give it a go.
Our chickens are too well fed, I think.
Back in early March, I spent quite a lot of money on wildflower seed for around the edge of this pond. But little did I know that we were going to have a ridiculous rabbit season. This was meant to be all green. I need to get my gun working.
Unwilling to give up on our pond, we've decided to seed the bank again. But this time, we've installed an irrigation system around the bank to make sure it doesn't dry out.
So yesterday I finished putting the pipe around here, and we don't know whether we've got video of it because we've had technical difficulties with our camera. It froze. Never mind. Imagine I was there unreeling all the cable. It was getting kinked up. It was very annoying. I got frustrated. Then I slipped down the bank and I hurt my back a bit. That's basically the gist of what happened. And then it down with rain. I had to come in anyway. But we did get the soaker thing working right. The soaker thing over there is working correctly. Yeah, so I'm going to rake this out and seed it. It's a nice day, but it's getting cold. It's getting cold early, I think. And I want that seed to start growing, have something there over winter, otherwise our soil's all going to get washed away. I've just got a preservation seed mixture, general purpose meadow mixture there. That's 2,000 grams. I think that's about 140 quid. And then we've got special cornfield mixture. If I don't look very natural here, it's because I felt very self-conscious about the wrist action this might involve. So I went for a gentle sprinkle. Now I'm aware that this does look a bit of a mess. This comes right up in the air over here. This thing sits at an angle like this. It wasn't how I planned it. This post wasn't quite long enough. It was an old wind brace. It was one that I didn't cut when I built the barn. So it was oak, so I thought oak's good to put in the ground. That should last a long time. I'll put that on the bank. That'll look lovely and neat. That can just sit there like that. But as I progressed, things happened. I realised this actually wasn't long enough. So I ended up putting this tap the other way up to give me a bit more space, so that it wasn't drawing from the bottom. But also because of this filter, I didn't have enough room there to put the filter across this side and also have that. Now I didn't want this to be that side because I'm planning not to touch this very much. I wanted the filter. Filter is going to be changed and messed around with more than this, because this does it itself. You program it and you should be able to leave it, and it also has a rain sensor on it that comes off that I'll put somewhere. There's no point in doing that at the moment because I'm going to be bringing it in because winter's on its way. So that's not going to be coming out now until end of May. And then in which case I'll do the sensor so that it should all sort itself out. It knows when it's rained because it's got the sensor, and we can time it so this will water this perhaps at 5-minute intervals, and give it a rest, and then give it another go, and just to get it to sink in. Obviously we're on a bank and the water will be running off, so you want to be able to get it a little bit, stop, a little bit, stop, and do that potentially throughout the day, depending on how dry it is. And that's the plan. And if it's wet enough, it shouldn't come on anyway. So it's going to be a case of monitoring. Obviously it's different if when it's windy and it's really hot, it dries out quicker. But if we can get some green to start, then we've got a good chance of actually keeping it moist up here without that wind constantly drying it out. Anyway, so yeah, this is the thing I'm going to be changing the most times. This is why this is on this side, it's easy access. Yeah, it's not great, is it? It's a mess. And then I had to put this fitting on here with 2 things, because this fitting here wouldn't just fit on the tap. It would fit, but the way it is, there's the sort of sleeve touches the tap end, and you can't do it all the way up. What a stupid design that is. So it expects people to have a longer tap. So it's not a very big tap, it's a little tap. It's probably cheap, I don't know. Yeah, so that didn't work. So then I found this thing that made it work, and now I've got a spare one there. And actually, come to think of it, I could actually use that, because when I clean the filter out, I can run it under that side. It bypasses filters, clean that out, put it back on. It's actually quite useful, but it's got this wonky freaking angle now, which I don't really like. As long as everything works, I can do something about it. I can cover that up. Really annoys me. It looks so ugly. It does look so ugly. Obviously when flowers and things are up around it, they're probably going to be about as high as that when it's up and around it, but when it isn't, you're going to see that. Obviously people that have ponds, they do have these boxes, and they have pumps in them and filtration systems. They have ugly things that they have to hide. And I'm going to have to do the same. Now I'm going to have to hide it in something. I'm probably not. I'll water butt. It's just more work, isn't it? I'll have to do something now. I'm going to probably end up carving something out of wood for it. The left side of that is working, and you can just see dripping. I've just started it, but obviously it's all connected. Although I've got left and right side, what I did was I connected it back round to even connect on the other side, so they're connected. But I wanted to see if I could get both of these working at the same time, but it does a left and a right. So what I'll do is I'll program both to come on at separate times so it turns it around, which could be an idea to flush anything that does get in there about a bit, so it doesn't sort of gather at any ends, because there isn't any end. So next late spring, summertime, we should see something on there, hopefully. We've got to make automation work for us, because this is like homesteading stuff, and we know we're blanching tomatoes and we're killing chickens for meat, and obviously we're not a long way from doing everything, but what we are doing is just extra. It's pushing and pushing and pushing. We haven't got time. I mean, we're not stopping till 10 o'clock at night. We're up at most mornings about 5, half 5, and we don't stop until about 10 o'clock at night. And I have a job to stay awake, quite honestly. So, me and the kids are going to put together this polytunnel today, and it makes you laugh. It says, important, please read the entire assembly manual before using the product, and then keep it for future reference. I don't know if you can see how much there is to read there. It's hardly anything. And that's basically it. That's the instructions. And you've got to look at those and see what pulls what from those. It's going to be a really testing day, isn't it? It's me and the toddlers doing this today. Rachael has a podcast for Seaton Education that she's on, which is about homeschooling.
and wishing me luck.
We won't regret this. Let's kiss the past goodbye. I'm longing to live this free life I've been hearing about. You will see us howling like wolves in the night. 'Cause nothing is stronger than wanting what you might get. I said, hey, yeah, 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 call it a start by leaving behind what's breaking our hearts. I said, hey, yeah, 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 follow the spark. Ain't nothing but a one way.
So the polytunnel's going on a wooden base, and we'll put wheels on it so that it's mobile. This was really cheap, but we'll go into that more in the next video.
It's always been a dream of ours to grow pumpkins for Halloween, and this year we finally managed it.
Be careful! A chicken is going to eat it!
They're very interested, aren't they?
Yeah, very. I think they will know what we're doing.
I think you're right.
Right, do you want to scoop now?
Right, go for it.
Use your hands.
Oh, I'm going to use hands. There you go. It's a good way to tidy up, isn't it?
Oh, I'm letting the chickens have some.
Clean. Get your hand in there, Albie.
Look, okay.
How many chickens we got now?
I don't even know.
We have 1, 2,
Got 11.
3, 4,
White one.
5,
And they're all
6,
registered.
7.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Even the ones in the freezer.
Yeah. So recently, people had to register their chickens, and people registered all their chickens, their chicken nuggets, their plastic chickens, frozen chickens from Tesco, and that's what you get for being a and making too many rules.
The whole site's crashed, isn't it?
Yeah. So when me and my brother and sister were kids, we went to a farm, and my parents couldn't really afford pumpkin. We didn't used to really do pumpkin stuff very often. We used to do it, but not all the time. And there was this one year that the farmer gave us some big sugar beet to take home and do carving. So we had these ugly, if anyone's actually seen sugar beet, they're like a giant sort of, would it be classed as turnip, or like a great big parsnip that's really fat. And this guy had these great big sugar beets that we carved out, but we didn't really think about it, because when we put a candle in them, they caught alight because they're sugar, and we nearly burnt the house down. These things we had to throw out because they were all on fire. And my mum reminded me about it, and it's just really funny how things come back to you. It's like, oh yeah, I remember those ugly things. But now you getting your own homegrown pumpkins,
Homegrown organic pumpkin to carve and just throw away. It's a bit of a wasteful thing in a way, isn't it? But
it's dreadful, really, isn't it?
it is. But can't always
No.
be serious.
No.
Sometimes you've got to have a bit of
Let me
fun.
just do a bit more than that.
Choose a nice bit.
Nice.
Oh, here we go.
Do some sort of a mouth then.
I guess so, yeah.
I've got a different thing here. Let's try and do
Oh,
that.
that looks fun.
What's this is going to end up like?
Have you ever used that before?
Only on metal.
With the
That worked.
look, there's some in there.
It's gonna need cleaning up, isn't it?
Quite happy looking
Yeah, I like it.
pumpkin.
I quite like it like that. Well, I know which one's more scary.
But they didn't stick to the rules, did they, at all?
We've talked a lot recently about slowing down more, rather than always pushing on to the next job. We know that this is a beautiful life, even if it doesn't always look exactly how we planned it.